So in case anyone has any questions or has any query in the later part, they can go out and revisit the stuff. So just tell me if you can see the slides. Again, thumbs up. Yeah, that works. So yes, we are in Android Study Jam's first session. I'll start with my introduction. I'm Astha Naik. I'm a pre-final year student of Computer Science and Engineering. I'm one of the members of GDSC NIT Rourkela, and I have been a mobile application developer for close to 3 years now. Majorly doing most of my work in Android as well. And I also use Flutter for mobile development. So for this year or for this session, I am your Android Study Jam facilitator. So I will be there in case you have any doubts throughout the process. And it's my job to make sure that you understand you when you go throughout the way. So yes, what is an Android Study Jam? So I'll just divide these into 3 words, right? Android, all of you must have known ever heard what Android is. Like, it's not practically possible that someone living in 21st century does not haven't heard the word Android. And Study Jam is basically just studying together. So throughout this journey, we will be learning together. I will help you learn. I'll help you clear your queries. And I do not expect you that by the end of this session, you become a pro in Android, but I will make sure that by the end of the session, you'll have an interest for learning Android and you can go and pick up the pace on your own so that you can learn later and acquire a skill which is very, very beneficial in this current scenario. Right. So let's just start with a quick quiz. So let's just start with one app that you cannot live without. I'll just share a quick Slido chat and you can go ahead and put which Android app you can't live without at all, or which app at all you can't live without. I'll just switch on this and all your responses will be visible here as well. Give me a second. Does not seem to be working, but let's see. Okay, yeah. So your code is this. I'll put the code in the chat and you can go ahead and join on sli.do, or I can give you the link as well wherein you can join. Go ahead, fill in this number, tell which app you can't live without at all. In case you are wondering what's the code, once you go to that website, I'll put the code again. Put the code again. Still waiting for a response. We'll wait 5 minutes here. Has anyone joined yet? Let me just allow unmuting people to unmute themselves so that you can speak, and this is an interactive session. I do not want it to be monotonous in any way whatsoever possible. It will get extremely hectic if we don't talk while or we don't discuss. So people, have you joined it?
Yep.
Yes. So I hope you guys can see this place where you can answer this question.
Yeah, we have responded.
You have responded? Does not seem to come out. Let's go ahead and see if that's working. As well, because I'm not able to find it over there. Yeah, the Slido seems to be active. Have you guys answered?
Yes, we have answered.
Yes, the answers are coming in. I hope my screen is visible. You can see chances. Get the most popular votes. Yeah, my answer would have been Zomato. Yes, let's just wait for 2-3 more minutes. Yes, mostly it's YouTube. 7 people have said YouTube. There's Discord, there's Swiggy, there's Steam, there's Google, there's WhatsApp. Again, WhatsApp has become inevitable in these days. Yeah, there's someone who is a BGMI fan. But yeah, let's end this. The entire purpose of this poll was apps have become something really as a part and parcel of our life. We can't even imagine one day when we do not wake up. We wake up to an alarm clock, we check our updates on Insta, we store our daily routines on a to-do list. We again, the vicious cycle of Insta, WhatsApp, Snapchat goes on. But again, it has become the part and parcel of our life. It is very, very essential that what these mobile devices have done for us. So applications on these mobile devices, or the skill to build them, is actually a really, really beneficial skill when it comes to today. So that brings me to the next question of mine. What is Android and how is it helpful for me to learn? As a beginner, this question is probably something that would arise in the minds of a lot of people. Like, why is something like Android so important for me to learn, or why is this skill so necessary or popular in this day-to-day life? So what is Android? Just like Windows or Mac OS or Linux, Android is also an operating system. It is built basically for mobile devices, something like your watch or your mobile or tablets, and it is based on a Linux kernel. To leave the technicalities apart, Android is something which is very inherent, is a very common word that is, even if you are someone from the technical background or not, you get to hear this word very often. Even elders will be speaking about some update in their app, which their mobiles Android will not support. Even if they do not understand the meaning of Android, they will go ahead and tell you that their mobiles Android system does not support it. So why is it helpful for me to learn? So in this current scenario, when a lot of starting from startups and big grown MNCs rely upon applications to go ahead and meet their consumer needs, the skill of learning to build a mobile application becomes very essential. So it's a skill that a lot of people, while getting jobs, a lot of companies while looking for people to give jobs, desire for. So, and learning Android can be a very, very important arrow in your quiver. So that being said, is there any question till now? If yes, I would be more than happy to answer them, or we'll straight up jump into how to learn and how are we going to learn today. I'll wait for a minute. Cool. There does not seem to be any questions. So let's just proceed to what this course will be all about. So this entire course of Android Study Jam is a long course. I at any point of time do not expect you to complete it within this class itself or within this session itself. So basic requisites for this course. This is completely designed for a beginner who does not have a lot of skills when it comes to programming languages and stuff. So if you have those, it's really great that you will have a strong fundamental to start with. But even if you do not, this course makes sure that it teaches you everything, every basic thing that is required and how to go ahead and proceed with learning things. So what basic requisites for this is basic computer literacy, that you know what a monitor is, you know how to operate internet, you know how to type on a keyboard, you know how to handle a mouse. So that's your basic computer literacy. And math skills, as we all know, any sort of programming requires maths. So again, we do not expect, or I do not expect you to have PhD level math skills. It's just basic class 10, class 12 level math skills. Cool. And the other things seem very repetitive, like you need a computer and headphones just because you do not want to disturb someone else who is sitting beside you, and an internet connection because this entire thing is on internet, and optional thing is Android device and USB cable. So while you are building an application, you might want to test it on a physical device. So if there is some iOS user here who is completely using it on iOS, it's absolutely okay that if you do not have an Android device, there are emulators or there are simulators of mobile, as you can say, in Android Studio, the tool that we'll be using to learn today. And therein you can simulate a phone inside your computer device, and you can use that to test your device, to test your application. So if you have an Android device in USB cable, that's very good. But if you don't, that won't be a problem. Right. So next things, why are you here? We are here that we will get some knowledge about what Android is and what are the basic things required. I'm not at all telling that you will be completely a pro Android developer, a pro application developer by tonight, that you won't be able to find bugs in Zomato app and solve them. It's very, very essential you to go slow and learn at your own pace. So your major goal today will be to develop interest and to know what actually Android development looks like, so that if you have interest in it, or if you feel like it is an important asset that you can possess, go ahead. There is a very structured course designed by developers of Google and Android themselves. They have designed it just for beginners, and I will tell you how to proceed in that. I'll tell you how you can learn, what benefits that are possible in case you have that. Cool. So how do you plan to achieve them? This question will be answered. So again, I said today's learning objectives will be building your first Android apps, an Android app which will be similar to the hello world of any programming language. So again, for building Android apps, all of you must have heard somewhere that Java is used for mobile application development. Even if you don't, I'll tell you. In earlier days, Java was used primarily for mobile application development, or in general, any sort of development was done using Java. But as time passed, there are languages that are developed upon Java, which are more advanced and which have better features and are very developer friendly in general and give better performance as well. So I guess in 2015 or 16, Google declared Kotlin as the official language for Android development. Kotlin is a language that is built entirely upon the Java basics. So in case if you know Java, it will be very easy for you to grab Kotlin. But even if you don't, there is ample amount of prerequisite knowledge that will be given to you in this course. So the Kotlin is a language that was developed in 2011. And today we will basically learn the language Kotlin and not Android development. So once you have a strong Kotlin knowledge, then it will be really easy for you to manipulate with the language while you develop apps. And we will discover all the resources that you will be required or that will be needed for you to go ahead and proceed and become an Android developer in general. So this is a course that we'll be following. It is the Android Basics in Kotlin course. So this is a course that has been designed specifically by the developers of Android. They have kept it in mind while developing that this is a completely beginner-friendly course, and you do not need any specific language knowledge, or you do not need high advanced programming skills to get through it. Right, before I show you what the course is there any question? I would love to take, I guess most of you can unmute. So if you want to unmute and ask, you can. If you want to raise hands and then ask, that also is welcome. If you want to put it in the chat, that also is welcome.
Didi, I want to ask that in this course we'll be learning only Kotlin for Android Studio.
Okay, so the language that you'll be learning is Kotlin. Android Studio is the tool that you'll be using to build the Android app. So right now, I won't downloading Android Studio is a big deal. Like, it's a huge file and it requires a large chunk of internet. And I do not expect all of you to have downloaded Android Studio. So there is a playground which is designed so that you can run small Kotlin snippets and basically learn what Kotlin language looks like. And then I teach you how to download Android Studio so that for the next pathways that are following, you can go at your own pace. And by the next session we have, you would have downloaded Android Studio. Cool. Anyone else? Smarak, I hope I was able to answer your question.
Yes, Didi, yes. Thank you.
Anyone? Cool. If there's no one, I shall proceed. So how this entire thing is structured, that the entire course is a really big course and it will take around a month for you to complete it. But what we have planned in mind, that we are not expecting you to complete. Okay, is there any advantage using Kotlin over Flutter and React Native? So this is a question that I was really expecting. Flutter as such, I myself is a Flutter developer, and Flutter and React Native are cross-platform mobile application frameworks. For people who do not know what is cross-platform mobile application framework, so basically in using Flutter and React Native, you can go ahead and write one code base that will be used in both both iOS and iOS and Android devices. So you do not have the extra pressure of writing multiple codes. So now where does these kind of cross-platform frameworks fail is so in general, where there are certain things which are very concentrated to the mobile, like the inbuilt features like accessing a camera or doing some computation or using the basic processor of the mobile. So when it comes to things like just fetching the data and showing it, cross-platform applications become very popular. So they are very efficient in it. But when it comes to compute-intensive programs, wherein you want to use the processor, wherein you want to make sure that everything is very efficient and smooth, in those cases, the native frameworks are more beneficial. Right? What about KaiOS? I have no clue about KaiOS because I haven't tried. But in case I come across, I'll make sure I tell you, Sachin Bhaiya. Yeah, so let's proceed. Let's concentrate on Flutter, on Kotlin itself. So this entire pathway is a very long pathway, and it is divided into smaller sections, and there are achievements at each section. So as I said, okay, there is, yes. So as I said, what we'll be doing is this entire units. So this entire course is divided into units, and each unit is in general a larger chunk of data or larger chunk of course. So there is a unit called basics, there is a unit about navigation, there is a unit about how to connect to internet. So these are larger stuff. And each unit again is divided into smaller pathways. Each pathway is again divided into, these are pathways. So each pathway, there are few courses, there are few videos, there are few quizzes. So what you need to do is, even today, we will take a pathway, we'll solve a quiz, and we'll earn a badge, right? So all of you who had registered, if you remember, I had asked for your Google developers account, right? Google developers profile. So that is a place that we will be tracking your progress. So the Google developer profile looks something like that. This is my Google developer profile. So as and when you go ahead and learn these courses, as in when you complete these pathways, there will be these badges that you will be getting. So for getting the certificate, we have kept a certain limit on the courses, because we want to, again, do not want to give you any stipulated time to go ahead and learn the entire thing. Everyone has a different learning pace. So we have made sure that only the basics part is something that you cover under the stipulated time to get the certificate. So if I go ahead and show you what this course entirely looks like, so I can also give you the link in the chat so that all of you can open it simultaneously. Yes, all of you can just give me a heads up after you're on this page. Yes, so this is the entire course that has been planned for you by the developers of Android. So the first being the Kotlin's basic, the second being about layouts, like when you see an app, you can see an app bar on the top, you can see a few buttons on the downside of the app, which is usually a bottom navigation type. You can see on the left hand corner there's a button which on clicking swipes out a drawer, wherein you can swipe up menus. You can see if there is some missed error or there is some prompt that is shown, there is a small dialog box. So those are the stuff which comes under layout. So the basically what you see, how well you can design it, that is under the layout portion. Now, when it comes to navigation, again, not every app that you build will be one screen. So it is very essential for us to navigate from one screen to the other and not lose data. So you do not want that when you are signed in on one page, you go to a different page and come back and your sign in data is lost. You have to sign in again. So these are the stuff that are handled under the navigation section. Again, other things are self-explanatory. You connect to internet, as I said, data persistence. You want your data to be persistent across the app. And work manager, again, this is a really advanced topic. And if you are able to complete the pathways till here, I'm pretty sure that you are a great Android developer and go ahead and build your own applications which are industry level worthy, right? So I won't give any stipulated time to you for going till this, because again, these are all tough topics and it is very essential for you to understand and experiment with each thing before going ahead to the next one, right? So what we are looking at this course or during this course is building this Kotlin basics unit. So we will be focusing entirely on completing this unit, Kotlin basics. So during this entire time, which is this course will be ending on January 4th. Cool. Till January 4th, if you guys remember, I have collected your Google developer profiles, as I said. So I will make sure that if you have these 4 badges in your Google developer profile, you are eligible for certificates, right? And that certificate will be from Google, and it can be a good addition to your resume. And the next thing is, if you complete all this, like if you have completed all 6 units, you are eligible for an associate Android developer certification exam. And if you go through it and take it, this is a very good proof to tell your recruiter that you are a great Android developer and you have pretty good idea of what Android development is, and this as such makes you eligible for any kind of mobile application development job. Cool. So this is again very uniformly designed for beginners as well. So in
We
this
will
session,
we will be completing these 4 steps after the course, no? Because they are
I could not get your question, Farah.
means we'll be completing these 4 steps. You are telling what after the course, no? After learning everything.
It's not after learning. This is not something like video. This is something that you learn through. You read something, you implement it in a code lab, or you implement it in a code, and then only you can learn. So it's do as you learn kind of thing. It's not something that you look at a video and then go ahead and solve an exam paper. So it is more of a work intensive or learning intensive course. Right. So all of you can start right away in this session itself, because in this session we will be covering the first pathway of this of Kotlin, introduction to Kotlin. So we'll be learning what basically Kotlin is. There are 5 activities. We'll take quizzes. This is what we'll be doing in today's 30 minutes of course. And it again till January 4th, you will have time to complete these stuff. And I'll also teach how to install Android Studio on devices. The next part being always make sure that you are signed in, because if you're not signed in, and please use the email of the developer profile that you have given. So if you are not signed in, it is very unfortunate that all your progress will be lost. So as you can see, if I sign in into my account, I'll get the completion rates of each one, that I've completed these things and I have earned these badges. So if you are not signed in and go ahead to work out, it is very much possible that you lose your progress. And we do not want to do that. Cool. So we will start with yes. So let's just start with the Kotlin, the first pathway of this. So I hope everyone is on this page so that we can go ahead and proceed. And in case someone has doubts, they can ask then and there. But if you are not on your device and do not have an internet connection right now, it's absolutely normal. You can go, this session is recorded. You can go ahead and see this session on the later stages as well. And it would be, you can solve it at your own time. Just the time frame that we're looking for is completing the entire unit of 4 pathways before January 4th. And in between, when you want to learn, since this is a winter vacation time and a lot of study stress is not there, I expect a lot of you will be able to finish it. So here are a few videos. So let's just go ahead and see what Kotlin looks like. I'll make sure I have shared the sound. I'll share again, give me a second. Yeah, my sound was shared. So basically, during this entire session, there are these small videos where there are people directly from the Android development team who will be teaching you stuff, and they will tell you what this course is about. They'll tell you what is the prerequisite and everything. And you can, this is basically learn as you go. So devote some time here, and this obviously is an asset that you will be learning at the end of the day. So I'll just play this and mute myself.
Welcome to Android Basics in Kotlin. In this course, you will learn the fundamentals of how to build Android apps.
We're from the Android team at Google, and we'll be your instructors for this course. I'm Dan.
I'm Kat, and we'll be here guiding you throughout your journey.
And I'm Megan. We'll do our best to explain things clearly with step-by-step instructions.
It's hard to imagine life without our phones.
And in this course, you're going to have a chance to learn how to build an app that runs on one of these. It honestly feels like a superpower to know how to build an app, to take something that's an idea in your head and put it on your phone.
And it's not just your phone.
There are over 2.5 billion Android devices in the world.
That's phones, tablets, TVs, watches, and even cars.
Imagine how cool it would be to make an app that your friends can use.
The apps that you use on your phone are often quite complex. They have whole companies and teams of engineers working on them. And all those engineers had to start at the beginning.
So in this course, we're going to focus on building a series of basic Android apps that can run on a phone.
The course is split up into units. Each unit is made up of several pathways. Pathways are composed of videos, code labs, and quizzes. And, drumroll please, you will earn badges along the way.
You'll also be building up your developer profile, which you can use to show the skills you've gained throughout this course.
By learning the fundamentals of programming and the core concepts in Android, you will have a solid foundation to build off of.
You'll learn how to use Android Studio, the tool we use to write our code.
And you'll be learning Kotlin, the recommended programming language for developing Android apps. At its core, a programming language is used to tell a computer what you want it to do. It's similar to learning a foreign language, but instead of speaking to people from another country, we're communicating with the computer.
We'll get into more details of learning Kotlin later, but first let's talk about what you need to start this course.
To get started, you need a computer and an internet connection so you can download Android Studio. You don't need any prior programming experience, but we do require that you have basic computer and math skills. Knowing basic math is useful when you're programming because of the problem-solving skills involved.
It's also helpful to have an Android device, phone or tablet, to test your app on. If you don't have one, that's okay. We'll show you how to simulate an Android device on your computer with something called an emulator. It's also great to be familiar with using Android apps. If you haven't used Android before, you'll learn this along the way.
Above all, the most important requirement is your motivation and willingness to learn. It's going to be a challenging but rewarding process if you stick with it.
You may be asking, can I get a job as an Android developer after this course? Well, the answer is not quite. We're going to prepare you with the basics, and there are more advanced classes you can take and more practice you should do on your own to pursue the career path of a developer.
Now, you might be asking, how long will the course take? That really depends on how much you already know and how much time you can invest in learning the material. Anywhere from a few weeks to a few months is realistic.
No matter where you come from, this journey will be challenging, interesting, and we hope also fun.
By the end, you will have built a collection of apps that will show you a glimpse of what's possible with Android.
We are super excited!
Super excited!
We're super excited that you've decided to join us, and we welcome you to this course.
Welcome!
Yes, so it was a really cheesy video, but you get the point. As I said earlier, there is no prior heavy prerequisite required for you to begin this course. It's just that you are interested enough and motivated enough to get through it. It's a really long course, and it might take, as they said, it might take from a few weeks to a few months, depending upon your time devoted to it. So it's absolutely okay for you to take some time and learn through it. Again, as I said, the only deadline or only time frame that we are looking forward is January 4 for the first unit. And after that, it's entirely your wish when you want to go. There was a question that I saw earlier. So how do we need to sign up for this certificate after earning these badges? So if you haven't registered already, I'll drop in the link again. You just have to fill in this form so that I have an idea that you are taking this course and I can get you the certificate. And if you are willing to take the Associate Android Developer exam and take the certificate, that is something that you can access from that previous link that I had given. Yes, yeah, Hemant has dropped the link as well. That is the place where you need to sign in. And there is a question wherein you need to give your developer profile. The developer profile can look something like this, or the developer profile can look something like this. So you just need to share the link so that I can keep a count on the courses that you have completed. So if you have completed all 4 of the pathways of Unit 1, you are eligible for the course, right? So it's as simple as seeing this video. There are some units, or there are some pathways wherein there are just videos wherein people come and teach you what it is.
Hello.
And again,
Ma'am.
yes, above. No worries. So here, as you can see, there are 2 videos, 2 code labs and a quiz. We will soon come to see what a code lab is as well, and we'll solve it together. So I hope all of you are going ahead and doing this, are on the screen sidewise as well. Let's go to the next activity of this pathway.
Welcome to Unit 1, the beginning of your amazing journey.
In this unit, you will learn important concepts in Kotlin and Android development to get you set up for success.
This unit is split up into 4 pathways.
In the first pathway, we will dive right into learning some basics in a programming language called Kotlin.
Kotlin is a modern programming language. It's efficient to write and has features that help prevent mistakes in your code.
It's rapidly becoming one of the most loved programming languages in the world, and we at Google recommend it for building Android apps.
In the second pathway, we'll help you set up your computer. We will teach you how to use the same tool that professional Android developers use to build their apps. It's called Android Studio, and you'll be installing that on your computer. Once it's set up, we'll walk you through how to create and run your first Android app. This is always a magical milestone.
In the third pathway, we'll make a birthday card app. You'll get to customize the app for someone special in your life and surprise them with it.
In the fourth pathway, we'll learn how to make an app that has an on-screen button that can be clicked. You'll write Kotlin code for how the app will behave when the user taps the button.
This will unlock infinite possibilities for the types of apps you can create.
Don't worry, we know it's a lot, but we'll be guiding you through the pathways, and we're confident that you can do this.
It's normal to feel overwhelmed with all this new information, so take it bit by bit. It takes time to learn and digest the material.
With each app you create, you will gain more confidence in the skills you are building.
Before we begin, let's double check that you have everything you'll need. You'll need a computer with internet access that you can install Android Studio on. Make sure that your computer meets the requirements linked below.
To see your app in action, it's helpful to have an Android device and a USB cable to connect it to your computer, but it's definitely not required.
Let's get started!
Yeah, so it is absolutely okay. If you haven't downloaded the Android Studio yet, the first 2 code labs are not on Android Studio. It's something called Kotlin Playground, and we will be going ahead and doing it together. So if you are here and if you have seen these 2 videos, there will be 2 ticks here already. And if you haven't, you can see it later. These are optional videos. You can go ahead and take this code lab, and on clicking this code lab, you can see a series of or a list of numbers that are here, and these will be the steps that you'll be following and you'll be learning in this code lab. So in this code lab, while I'm taking it with you, I'll make sure that I tell you everything that is written here so that you do not have to read it. Before that, I'll give you the Kotlin Playground link so that in case you do not have Kotlin installed in your devices, you can use this directly. I guess we are good to go. Just give me again a thumbs up or any kind of indication that you're with me, and we are again good to go. I'm audible, right?
Yes.
Yes, CD.
Cool. So before we begin this code lab, I'll just tell you what we are going to do here. We are going to basically see how Kotlin code looks like. Even if you have no idea about any programming language, you will just know what programming looks like. And Kotlin can be, again, a very simple language you start your journey with. So again, we will look the basics of app creation and stuff later. It is very essential for you to first get accustomed with what Kotlin is and what are you getting your hands into. So again, as I said, the prerequisite is interactive websites on your web browser, or probably better on your laptops. I haven't tried how this Kotlin Playgrounds looks in mobile actually. So it's better if you are on a desktop or a laptop or something with a wide screen and a keyboard attached to it. So we'll basically learn in this code lab that how to run a very minimal Kotlin program that displays just a message. So our primary, as we see that all the stuff that we will be doing our primary aim is to build an app. At the end of the day, we want to build an app. So for that, we want messages to be printed on screen. Let it be messages, starting something like your username written on the app bar of your any app. So these are simple things that can be used. So as I said, I hope you are on internet and you have opened this Kotlin playground link that I've given you. Yes. So as you can go ahead and you can open this Kotlin link, you can see that you can see something like this. You can see random words written: fun, main, brackets again, then print ln, which does not make any sense again, and there is hello world written. And again, hello world is like ABCs for any programmer. If you do not know it, it's absolutely okay. You will be writing hello world in probably 20s of languages till the end of your BTech. So yeah, so this is hello world is like ABC of any programmer. Again, there are inverted commas, there are brackets, and again brackets. Before understanding what this exactly is, let's just click this play button here and let's just see what it does. As you can see, that whatever was there here is printed exactly. Okay, now I don't know that whether it's printing what I've written here or it has something already written on the back end of things, and whenever I click this prints. So I'll just make a few changes to this. Instead of hello world, I'll say hello study jammers. So just to confirm that what I'm writing here is printed and not something from somewhere is coming out and being printed. Yes, as you can see, exactly what I've put in between these inverted commas, that's the same thing that is being printed here. Right, so my output is exactly what I'm writing in this. So from this, I can understand that if there is a print ln and there is an inverted comma and I put my text in it, I can get the exact same thing printed out here. If you're not sure, just try it again till you are confirmed that that is what is exactly happening, right? So now again, you might see there is a word fun, there is a word main, there are a few brackets, and if you do not have any idea earlier, it is exactly very tough for you to understand, right? So what basically fun means, in English, fun means having a lot of enjoyment and stuff. Again, here as well, a fun can make sure you have a lot of fun, but here the fun is the short for the word function. So a function is a basic piece of code that does anything. So any piece of code that does any work is a function. So in Kotlin, the syntax that is used for the word function is fun. So it's just a short word because as such developers like me are very lazy and we can't afford typing the entire word. So we shorten it out to fun. So whenever you see the word fun, you understand that it is a function and that piece of code, like these 3 lines, are doing something. Not pretty sure what they're doing, but they're doing something. Right. And here main is the name of the function. So I have a function whose name is main, and the work that it does is printing this. Right. Now the question is why main? Why not ABC? So obviously in any there can be a function called ABC, but why are we choosing main? So if we are giving 112 names and we want, and these pieces of code are calling each other, like there's one piece called A which is calling B, and then B calls C, and it's a sequential flow. Now the issue is, how does the computer know, or how does my device know, or how does any programming language know where to start? So when that question arises, main is something that in many languages is considered as the driver code, that is, or the head, or from where the execution starts. If someone has any idea about C++ or C, even they must be knowing that even there the main function is called the driver code. So this is the place where our compiler or our interpreter basically knows that this is the place where I'll be starting my execution from. So I'll start reading wherever there is the word main. Right. So that is why this is called main. And again, these brackets are just syntax. We'll later know why or where these brackets are basically used. But till then, consider this is the way of writing. more like a alphabet. So we write A in a certain way, we write a function in Kotlin in this certain way. Cool. The benefits of writing in this certain way will be known later, but till now, I hope you understand till then. In case there is question. Again, how much is Kotlin based on Java? The entire Kotlin is built on Java. It has additional benefits, but everything that Java does can be done by Kotlin. Yes, as I said, this is very similar to Java. As someone pointed out, it's just println instead of system.out.println. If someone knows Java, they can understand this. And how much does it take time to be good at Kotlin? Again, as it was mentioned earlier, you can be good at a language with 1 week of learning. You can be good at a language with 3 months of learning. It's again very dependent upon how much time you can invest and how much time you can go ahead and give to this language and give time to dedicate to learn to it. So this represents the main dominant function of the entire code. Not the dominant function. This represents the initial starting point from which the computer will start understanding. Okay, when we read the book, we look at the top left of it, right? Because why not the bottom left or the center? Because we have been taught to that while we are reading English, we look at the top left. Similarly, the computer has been taught that whenever you start reading a program, you look at the main word or the word main. So it starts reading from there. It's not a dominant function, it's just like any other function, but the instruction has been fed to the computer that you start looking from there. All right. Any more questions? If it's there, feel free to ask, or we can go ahead. Okay, if someone is good at Java, you will probably take a day or two to look at the syntax of Kotlin, and you will be good to go. It won't be a lot of trouble for you since you are good at Java. Yes, as I said, Kotlin is built upon Java. So in Java, there is excessive extra code that is something that you need to write before running something, right? So those codes that are essentially needed to be put in every piece of code that you write, those are called boilerplate codes. And as the coding languages advance, the coding languages make sure that there is less boilerplate code. There is less excessive code that the coders have to put every time or have to jam every time. So with the development of Kotlin upon Java, the Kotlin developers have made sure that this excessive boilerplate code is not there in Kotlin anymore. So you can just start with fun main and it will print something. Any more questions, or we can proceed to what actually is the code lab says us to do. Yes, so as we saw, we ran the program, it ran successfully, and instead of we said hello study jammers, it said hello happy birthday. So let's just see if happy birthday runs. So as we said, we can put out text here and check if what we are printing here is actually what is being printed there. Yeah, as you can see, a happy birthday there is a happy birthday here. So a lot of you would have come through languages wherein you need to put semicolon in the end. So Kotlin is a language where semicolon is not a mandatory thing. Like there are languages where in Python, putting a semicolon can give you an error. Or there are languages like Java and C++ where without semicolon, it is an error. But in Kotlin, it will work with semicolon as well as without semicolon. The only major thing that you need to take care of is whatever you maintain with or without, make it consistent throughout your code, right? So if you want to use the semicolon at one point, use it at every point. If you want to use it at no place, make sure you use it at no place. There's a question that says, will you be our mentor for the complete course? If you, I'll particularly teach you the pathway unit 1 till unit 1. But if you have any questions throughout the entire course, I'll be more than happy to help. Cool. So as you can see, they have explained that if you put happy birthday there, it goes out and prints happy birthday here. And then as we saw what fun means, fun stands for a function that performs a specific task. There are a lot of keywords that have certain meaning in a programming language. So these words, these are words that you can't mean fun as fun and frolic here. Fun here needs to mean that it's a language, right? In this language, this fun means a function. So these words which have certain meanings that are attached to the language are called keywords. We'll come through a lot of keywords in this language. Even main is a keyword because it has a particular meaning already attached to it. You can't give it a meaning that you want on yourself, right? So as we saw, in case if you print happy birthday, it goes out and prints happy birthday. Whatever you put within those inverted commas, it will go out and print inverted comma. So now, yes, let's just go out and print a lot of other things, right? We go out, we print 2 lines, happy birthday, let's add println, similar as the previous line is written. Without understanding anything, I'll write it in the exact same way. I'll just put println and I will write the question saying happy birthday to me maybe, or to you. So as we can see, it prints in 2 different lines, happy birthday and to you, right? So if I add n number of lines, it will just go ahead and print it n number of times, happy birthday to you, to A, to B, to C, any number of things that I print, it will go ahead and print that. Because the function of this part of code or this line of code is to print the text that you give to it in the next line. Now what happens if I remove this inverted commas? I try to print it and it will throw an error because it does not follow the syntax that this line expects. It expects you to give a word in inverted comma to print, but since you haven't given, it is looking if that word means anything else. If that word would mean anything else, let's just make here that value 2 means to you, right? And I go out and print here 2. What should we expect? Should we expect that this will throw out an error because we haven't given the syntax that it expects? Or it should print happy birthday to you like the previous case? Surprisingly, even if the syntax isn't followed, it still prints happy birthday to you. Now, why does it work? Because in the previous thing, I have made sure that the word TO is equal to this phrase. So when it runs, what it does is just replaces this 2 with this word. So when it replaces this word, now the println has the required syntax that it expected the first time, and therefore it prints. Yes, as someone pointed out, we are using 2 as a variable to store the word to you or the string to you or the entire thing to you. Now, if I go ahead and put here to you all, so what do I expect here? I expect it to print happy birthday to you all, because what, again, the println here goes to 2 and sees what value does 2 have, and it just go ahead and prints that, right? So this is a concept of variables. Again, as I said, as function is a word, keyword, here val is also a keyword, which means value. So the value that 2 holds is this, right? So even val is a keyword. Before going further, I'll take any questions that are there. Yes, so how can we contact you if there is any query? So if you have registered during, given that link, you all must have received a mail from my account. If you haven't received a mail, it's absolutely okay. At the end of it, I'll give my contact number, and therein you can contact me through that using WhatsApp, call, whatever you feel like is okay. And also there is a Slack channel for all the developers of NITR. So in case I would highly encourage you to join that. So in case in this course or in future you are having any doubt, there are a lot of seniors and people you might require for helping you out. So there are various channels wherein there is a channel for competitive programming, there is a channel for Android development, there is one for website development. You can go ahead and put your questions there so that any or the other senior who is available, if I am also not available, someone who is available is sure to answer your question. Cool. So when this course starts and ends, this course starts now. We are doing the course right away. You need to complete the first unit by January 4. There is no such end deadline of completing the unit 6. You can take a year, 2 year, according to what pace you want to set. Right. Now, is fun a predefined return type or a user defined? Okay, fun is not a return type. The return type here is declared in a separate way. Fun is a function, is called for a function. Right? It is not a user, it's not a return type of a function. We'll get people who know what already coding is, or people who do not know what coding is might get confused what return type is and stuff. As forward as you go through this course, you will understand what a return type is. But right now, function is just the short of function. It's not a return type. Right? Does val have a predefined size? No, the val does not have a predefined size. It can take any kind of data type you give it to. In previous courses, you will understand how to declare a variable to a particular data type. Like if I want a variable to just be an integer, like I wanted to take always just numbers and not text, how do you declare that? Or if I wanted to just take decimal numbers and not a text, how do I declare that? Right, you'll understand how it comes, but val is used for a data type wherein it can take whatever it wants to, and it is not restricted to one data type. Cool. Any more questions before that, or we can again? Will we get classes for it regularly? Again, I believe that it's very independent of people when they want to learn and what everything follows. But I will take 2 more sessions. The second one will be completing second, third, and fourth phase of this unit. And the last will be a doubt clearing session. So this till unit 1, I'll be taking classes. And after that, you're on your own. I'm not saying that I'll leave you completely and you do whatever you want. But in case you have any doubts, I'll be there to help. But I'll not take regular classes like this. How to display the output in one line? This is a good question that I did not expect. So here, as you must have seen print ln. What if I do not write ln and just write print? What will it do? Let's just see and run and check. It just printed the entire thing in one line. So as someone asked how to display the output in a single line, you do not write print ln. Print ln, yes, ln stands for independent line. So it's print in a different line. So that's print ln. If you write print, it will go ahead and print the entire thing in one line. Cool. Let's just go to the next, and we just completed this code lab. Everything works fine. And there is a practice on your own. You can go ahead and practice this, and we can go to the next, proceed to the next code lab. So it's as simple as just writing a piece of code, learning what that piece of code means, and you can go ahead and practice. Right, let's just build something more personalized. So what do we want? We want to print a birthday card. Again, understand how hello world means, understand how to use println. So we have understood till now what this, I hope everyone here has understood what these 2 parts means. Right, so let's just go ahead and create. So what we do, we go ahead and take this. We want to print this. We want to print happy birthday Rover. You are 5. 5 is the very best age to celebrate. So we go ahead, we write this piece of code here. So we write println happy birthday Rover. Okay, there is some noise. Is there anyone who's unmuted? I would just tell me, I would go ahead and note it. And what your age is 5. And we can write print ln 5 is the very best age to celebrate. And let's just see if it prints what we expect. We expect it to print in 3 separate lines, and it does. Right. So we have filled it. Now let's just add a birthday cake. Right. How do I add a birthday cake? Birthday cake is again just simple lines that we need to print. So let's just print. Let this be my cake layer 1. Then I add a cake layer above it. So I write print ln. I write a print ln. It's again very different. Like your cake can look different from my cake, but again, it's just what we go ahead and print, right? So what if I just go ahead and run this? What do you expect it to show? Should we get any error? Should we get anything? Yes, Abhinav says it's error. Anyone else who agrees with him? Can anyone say why an error would come? Okay, Swandim says there will be no error. Anyone, just go ahead and tell me why there would be an error. Yes, no error, nothing will be printed, no quotes on slashes, no double quotes. Exactly. The string should be in double quotes, and I do not have a double quotes here. So let's just go ahead and put double quotes and see if that works. I go ahead and put double quotes here, and then I go ahead and put double quotes here. Now, should we expect it to work? No? Okay, let's just run and see if it's working. Yes. It just printed 3 lines. It did not print the other 2. Why so? Did anyone expect this kind of output? Anyone who had expected this kind of output, go ahead and tell me why do you think this happened? If not, we'll go ahead and learn why this happened. So basically, when we write code such as an application, right? So it becomes a very vast code base, and not one person keeps working on it. It's an entire team that works on it. So at some point of time, you write a piece of code, and that code is again modified by some other person, and that person should understand what the piece of code does. It's not that you have written something haphazardly and that person it's not possible for him or her to understand what you have written. You just wasted your code writing capability and time. So for that, to make sure that what we are writing is passed through and throughout the team, it is very essential that we add comments, right? So here you can see that this is a comment line. So what you can expect is when I put this, whatever I write after this, let's just write my name. You can see it comes in a very disabled form. Cool. It comes in a very disabled form. So it does not go ahead and read this entire line. But we can see that even if here I have put 5, it seems to work. But the other slash does not seem to work. So this will not be a reason. Obviously, if you put 2 slashes there, it works. 3 slashes, it works. 5 slashes, it works. But if I put it inside this code, inside the quotations, it reads it as a character and not a comment line. So if you want to mention a comment, you go ahead and put this, and the entire line after that will be, or entire sentence after that, whatever I write, will be considered as not a piece of code and just a documentation, right? So it won't be, the compiler won't consider it as reading. But why did this 3 not print? It just printed 3 and not the other 3. So if you would have in your earlier years, if you would have done HTML ever in classes 7, 8 or so, you must have remembered something called \n or sorry, /n. I'm very confused with this. So yes, it is called escape sequence characters. So when you put something like this, it escapes the few characters after that, and it considers that it is a part of a sequence. Like \n is for new line, \t is for tab, that is a larger space, right? So these are the stuff that are also implementable here. So for example, this is my candle cake, and these are my candles. I just go ahead and print candles here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So do I expect a proper output this time? Yes, you can see maybe those are slanting candles, but yes, my cakes have, my candles have flames now. So you can go ahead and build your entire cake, very similar to something that they have done here. What if we just copy this code and paste it here? Let's see if it works, or they have just bluffed it out. So we paste it here, and from here itself, it looks very much like a cake. But will it run, or will it distort itself while it runs? You can see that here as well, it looks very similar to a cake. So what they've done, they have added strings and spaces so as to make it look like a cake. Yes, Deepan has mentioned it correctly. If you want, as I said, for documentation, you can put it in one line, or if you want a multiple line comment, if you want to write a paragraph about what this functions does, then what you can use is a star /*, and again //. Am I doing wrong? Yeah, //. So it will go ahead and make sure this entire code is not considered now, right? So that being said, let's just go back to our code lab, and we printed a birthday cake, as you would have seen. So we had used earlier, we used variable. So as there we had printed, we used the word to as a variable for today. Now let's just take, for example, here in this previous example, wherein the person's birthday was celebrated, and there was the age written 2 times, right? You're already 5, and we'll print it here. Give me a second. You are already 5, and 5 is the very best age to celebrate. As we said, we developers are very lazy. So we will make sure that anything and everything at all that we do not need to do it again. So what we can declare here, we declare val age as 5. So that whenever we need to write the letter 5, we can use age. Now there we have seen that there was this entire sentence that was put into a variable. So how can I use it here? I want to write a part of sentence, and then I want to use a variable also. So I want both in a sentence, in one line. So in that cases, we write this syntax. So what we do is we go ahead and put age, right? So this is my age, and if I put $, give brackets and write the variable, it is going to print whatever is stored in this variable as a string alongside my previous existed thing. So let's just run and see if it's working. You can see that age is replaced by 5. Now, what if I remove this brackets and then print? What is going to print? Do you think it will be replaced by 5? Yes, it won't be replaced by 5. So if we run, you can see it is replacing by 5. So yes, so why does this work again? This works as well as this works. Now, since this is one variable, even without putting the curly braces, it can work. But if it would have been age and, for example, age dot something, like a variable and something stored inside that variable. So if it's it has 2 or 3 separations and it's working, then it won't work without the braces. But if it's single variable, it will work without the brackets as well, with just the ampersand sign, right? So that is one important thing. Like when you are building an application, there will be very often chances that you will be putting certain lines and then using variables. Like if you want to display the username of person, you write your username is, and then the username is stored in a particular variable, because you do not, usernames will be varied for varied person, right? You can't predict what the username will be. So you will store the username there. In those cases, these things come into play. So this is called string interpolation. So you put the value of a string inside a pre-existing string and use that value instead of the word age, right? So this is again a very important concept that will be used while printing messages, like for example, while printing errors that come in the sentences and stuff. So we already did this part. We created, we used variable. For example, let's just make sure that instead of 5, we make it days, right? So it's 5 into 365, and instead of age, we write you are already so many days. You're so many days. So this age in days, maybe something. So what do you expect here? Will it print 5? Will it print this 5 into 365, or it will print the value of 5 into 365? Yes, it will print the value of 365, right? So what here happens, that the calculation is already done. It is stored in this variable age, and then it is brought out and printed here, right? So again, very simple stuff that you do not require a very deep understanding of how computers works and stuff, and you can go ahead and print this stuff. So again, very easy code lab. We just finished it, and I hope if there is any question, I would be happy to take, else we have finished this code lab. Yes, there are data types in Kotlin as well, very similar to Java. We have int, we have float, we have string, we have all the kind of data types that are used in Java as well. Anything else, anyone? When is the next session? Okay, the next session will very much depend upon what enthusiasm. I hadn't planned actually, because I thought a lot of people won't turn up and it won't be a really fruitful first session, but it seems that people are interested. So very soon I'll send you a mail for the second session and we'll release the poster for the second session. So I hope you're in the, if you have not registered, make sure you register so that, yes, I'll put my WhatsApp number. Do we need to write that data type in place of val keyword? So again, in Kotlin, the declaration is a bit different. So if I'm using a data type, particular data type, I do not declare it as val, I declare it as a var. And then I give my data type, what I want it to be, right? So it is declared in this way in Kotlin. It's not similar to C++, wherein you write, okay, WhatsApp group. There is already a WhatsApp group, the crowdsource group when the posters were shared initially, but it would be better if, cool, Aviva has made a WhatsApp group. People, make sure you join. Aviva, can you please confirm if I'm in there in that group? Okay, cool. So in case I'm there in the group, make sure you ask me. You can get my number from those groups as well. It has my name Astha on it, and even if it's not there, I'll just put it here. I completely forget my phone number sometimes. But yes, this is my phone number. I'm on WhatsApp as well. In case anyone wants, they can contact me directly. As I'll just stop the screen share. I do not have a lot to say now. I'll just look into my slides if there is something left. Yeah, as you completed the first course, you can go ahead and share on social media saying Android Study Jam. Make sure you tag us at GDSC NIT Rourkela. Make sure you tag me. Okay, it will be difficult to find me. If you can search Astana, if you can find, it's absolutely okay. But again, make sure you go ahead and share on social media that you have attended today's session. And yeah, these are the stuff, these are the additional resources, but I have mostly put all the links here. This is the pathway link. You can go ahead, bookmark that link so that you do not miss it multiple times. And the Kotlin playground link is available somewhere in between during the courses. So that won't be difficult, right? On completion of this pathways, you will get these badges. Like I haven't completed these pathways as till now. So I haven't got these badges yet, but I've completed till here. So I'm at this level. So it's not that I am a pro or I'm a great maestro at this thing. I myself am learning at certain pace. So that is more or less what I wanted to say. In case you have any questions, anything at all, anything you want to ask, please unmute and ask. I'll stop the live as well. In case that is done, stop live stream.